and we're going to present to you some of Ford Motors' innovations. So, Ford Motors is arguably one of the US's most iconic brands and is widely known for the Ford Mustang, and it has always had innovation at its core. Ford Motors was founded by Henry Ford, a Michigan native, and he was mistakenly awarded with creating the assembly line, when in fact he only sponsored and later perfected it. He created two other companies before Ford, the Detroit Automotive Company, which was closed down because of high prices and low demand, and then the Henry Ford Company, which became the Cadillac Automotive after Ford left the company. The main concept behind the assembly line is a sequential organization of small tasks, which is repeated with the help of a moving belt. That created the implementation of the assembly line created higher production rates and made a working environment safer for workers. Nowadays, there's really nobody working in assembly lines, and it's mostly fully automatic with robots doing the job. The Model T was the first model created by Ford. It was introduced in 1908, and it was the first affordable car widely manufactured in the US, and even though it was only available in the color black, it sold more than 15 million units by the time it was discontinued in 1927. The Model T was after the Model T was discontinued, the Model A was introduced in 1927. Later on, the first V8 flathead engine was introduced in 1932. And then, obviously, the Ford Mustang was introduced in 1964. That wasn't too bad.
So Ford has a well-known reputation for innovative technology in the automotive industry. They were the first company to introduce seat belts in their vehicles from factory. Some of the current innovations and technology introduced in the cars today is Sync, which allows you to connect to your vehicle hands-free by only using voice commands. The Ford Active City Stop helps mitigate accidents at low speeds within the city. The blind spot information system allows the computer to detect cars in your blind spot and alerts you when you're changing lanes. The active parking assist gives you complete hands-free parking within tight spaces, and the hands-free tailgate gives you the option to use your feet to open your trunk when your hands are occupied. So today, Ford's most valuable and prized product is their Ford EcoBoost engine, which was introduced in 2009. These engines basically utilize two technologies: direct fuel injection and turbocharging. That gives the engine more power, uses less fuel, and reduces greenhouse gases. Now, how it works is the direct fuel injection is a system where fuel is sprayed directly into the cylinder head, like you see here on the right side of the screen. And basically, by directly injecting the fuel, the computer can finely tune how much fuel is needed for each combustion, therefore allowing you to use less fuel in the engines. The turbocharging system basically uses the exhaust gas from the engine to spin a turbine that's connected to a shaft and a compressor that pressurizes clean air from the outside and sends it into the intake manifold that allows for higher and better combustion, pretty much squeezing more air into the chamber and giving more power and better fuel at the same time.
Following the EcoBoost engine, we have the 10-speed transmission, which was built by Ford and GM in the first time in history of the two companies teaming up. Its first appearance is in the 2017 F-150s, and it's an upgraded version from the previous 6-speed transmissions. The main focuses have been on the wider gear ratio span, the less drag on the inside, and the torque converter, which was completely reamed. Here on the right, we have the torque converter. It has 4 planetary gears and a locking clutch system. It's 0.4 inches thinner than the previous and 2 pounds lighter. We have one connected pump that is connected to the torque converter, which is transferring the power from the engine to the transmission. This pump sends the fluid inside and produces a current that then spins the transmission shaft. This is the new hydraulic clutch system, which that is the pump that is being used. It's a variable displacement pump that is off axis. That means it's not inside the transmission anymore. It's on the outside to reduce the weight of the transmission and the size. We have a new fluid technology which has a low viscosity of 4.5 centistokes. As we said, this is the wider gear ratio. As we see on the first gear, we have a 4.7 gear ratio, which is high only due for the reason that it's on trucks right now. It may be innovated later on to go on sedans. But this 4.7 helps with torque on the low end to help trucks tow and pull whatever is behind them. The wider span gear ratio as well is at 7.4, and it ensures faster shifting of gears, which means it's a much smoother ride. There's 6 clutches in total inside this transmission, and it's a dual clutch system, which means there's 2 engaged at all times. So as the gears are shifting, 2 disengage and 2 are re-engaging simultaneously. And connected to each clutch has little mini springs that will keep them in place to reduce drag as well inside the transmission, which has more longevity.
Okay, some of the pros and cons of the 6-speed and 10-speed transmission. The new one has all of the parts are made out of aluminum. They remove the cast iron parts. This makes the transmission lighter, and they also manage to keep the same safety factor. The shifting gears, they run smoothly because of the rear ratios between them. They also implemented to the car a program which makes the gears escape themselves whenever it's possible. As my colleague said, the transmission has a lower viscosity fluid. The new one is 4.5 centistokes, the old one being 6 centistokes. In addition to that, the one con we found is that even though they added 1 mile per gallon to the fuel efficiency, that's not a huge improvement since we're adding 4 more speeds to the gear system. We predict that this new engine is gonna receive less work, and this should make the engine last longer, at least have a better life. Again, we think that they're gonna keep improving the fuel efficiency with the new transmission. The engine itself should receive less maintenance because it's gonna endure less work, and at the long run, it should save money to the client. We can conclude that Ford is always taking the first steps towards innovation, and we think companies are gonna follow the same steps by implementing new technologies in their cars. And as this is a new model and a new engine, a new complete concept, they're gonna sell many units in the forthcoming years. Thank you very much.